All right, good morning. Hey, Vicky. Hey, Doug. Good to see you guys. Let me stop the track really quickly. All right, happy Labor Day weekend to everybody. So what we're going to do is, this is a really laid back lesson. I'm going to show you guys the things that I put in the All Access folder, as well as I'm going to put one of these PDFs inside the YouTube membership. Actually, we'll put two. I'll put the Yard Work Blues Trio, and I'll put the Yard Work Blues Shuffle Blues as well. So that's coming. Good to see you. We have 8 people watching. I love it. I was wondering whether or not people would show up for this lesson, but man, we are getting somewhere at iMusicAcademy. Good to see you, Rick. Rick, I'm guessing the gym is closed today. Okay, so let's just talk about this. I've been hard at work with all these PDFs. So Rick, I would like for you to click on the folder and make sure immediately you have access to all the charts. And it's a bunch of charts, so don't get overwhelmed. But Rick, if you'll do that. And in the meantime, we've been doing this 5-6 root idea, a great thing for you guys to practice. And in fact, last night I was doing, if you'll go back and watch some of the videos I did last night, I was doing all keys training with simple ideas like this. And then we go up a half step, and I used a backing track and everything. So I love to teach you guys how to simplify, get an idea or two, and stick with it, right? So even though I'm as guilty as anybody of having a bunch of ideas for you to practice, when it comes down to your actual practice time, you kind of do what I did last night. Is I was saying, all right, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to go up a half step, and I'm using my backing track. So really focused practice, and repetition is what is going to really help us all out in the long run. So the reason I mentioned that is because this Yard Work Blues is one really interesting pattern. Okay, yeah, Rick, I just want you to open up that folder, and you'll have a plethora of things to choose from. This idea right here of 5-6 root, everybody use that. And I was going minor third to major third. And you can play the whole blues that way, and all you have to do, and we're doing a jazz trio blues, so you have the voicings. In fact, I think this is the jazz trio PDF that you are hopefully able to see in the picture up there. So this idea of minor third to major third will get you through the whole blues, and the idea of 5-6 root. Okay, so one thing we can do is turn on the track and play the Yard Work Blues. And just a reminder that within the Yard Work Blues, we're doing another lick right from Blues Volume 1. This idea of this starting on the A. Now, why is this important? Because we've already talked many times about this idea of the 5th note being important, the 6th note of the blues. And we can play if we're in the key of C, we can go down 3 half steps, and we play the A blues first 4 notes. Rick knows that, Vicky knows that, Doug knows that, first 4 notes. So all I'm doing is starting this really nice blues lick on the top, and I go. And notice that if I was doing Yard Work Blues, I can transition between this and this. Now, all right, let's turn on the track and have some fun with this. I would say that since we have 6 people watching, which for a Labor Day, I'm not too sad about that. I think people are going to be jumping in and jumping out, and that's absolutely fine. But make sure you like this video. Let's see if we can get some interest in this video. All right, here we go. Turning on the track, and let's just enjoy the simplicity of this awesome thing of the 5-6 root. And the minor third to major third. Again. Now you have to go to the E flat because of F. A chord, D minor. Now this is how you get your work in. Minor third to major third, blues lick. me stop that really quickly. So we could go for days, and we should go for days with just thinking that simple, right? This. Yeah, Doug, we are so glad that you are back. That's awesome. Yeah, you told us you were going to be back, and you are living up to that. That's really cool. All right, do you guys enjoying the simplicity of this idea of wearing out an idea? And notice that at one point I went A blues scale, the first 4 notes, right? You're in the key of C, go down 3 half steps, and you're on the A blues scale. I want to show you. We're not going to take a break from what I'm about to show you. I want to show you again this idea of the C blues. If we're in the key of C, and we know we can do our enclosure. Hey Hugh, good to see you. Hugh, if you would, please click on the folder and make sure you easily have access to all of the charts that I put in the folder today. And don't worry if you're not an all access member. I'm going to show you the charts in there and show you what we're doing in there. So it shouldn't be. You definitely will be able to see what we're doing. There's no like I'm hiding anything from anybody. So part of what today is about is to show you guys different ways to practice things. Okay, so you have this C blues thing. Now watch this. Whatever key you're in, if I'm in C, if I'm in D flat, if I'm in D, if I'm in E flat, notice how I can get these simple triad patterns, right? So this, if I'm on C, everybody good? If you understand that, put yes in the chat. I'm doing 3, 5, 4, 2, 3. This is an enclosure based on C. The C triad, and I go, my E is my target note, and I go da 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 da. Okay, now, Rick's got it. Now watch this, Rick. When I go to the F chord, all I have to go is a minor vibe here. That's a way I can stay within this because now I'm honoring the idea of the flat 7 of F, right? Now watch what happens when I go back to C and even A. That's the 5th, that's the flat 7, and I'm surrounding the 5th, and then on the D minor, and even that, I did that flat 7 idea for C, so, and there's 6-5 root again. You guys see how we did that? Okay, now I want to show you again one additional thing. So if the whole thing we were going to do the enclosure, and then on the F7 we're going to do the minor version. For the diminished, when it goes to F sharp diminished, watch this, Rick. I can go. And the reason is because that's the F sharp diminished scale, and I go. So I can go. I could go. Okay, so all I did is this, over F, over C, over G minor, now I'm on F, F sharp diminished. And get that under your fingers right there. I practiced that last night and showed you guys several different things you can do in all keys. When you're getting your all keys work in, Marla, we are so happy to see you on a Labor Day weekend. It's still Labor Day weekend. Jeffrey, the most consistent man at iMusicAcademy. All right, this is a really good one for you to see, Marla, and I want to make sure that you have access and you click the link to get your charts. Awesome. Marla, it's so good to have you on. Let's turn on the track and have some fun with this. Okay, so let's play the Yard Work Blues first. A blues scale for a minute. And 3 and 4. All right, here we go. Let's do the yard work. All right, here's the triad idea. Watch this. Watch for F sharp. All right, let me stop that for a second. Who loves the idea of how simple that is? For me, this idea of focusing in on a 5/6 root minor third, and on purpose, when we did the yard work blues, I love putting in a familiar pattern, a familiar lick. Da 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 da. All right, now what we're going to do now, awesome. Rick loves the simplicity of it. Now, Rick, did everybody see this idea of how you could start to map out whatever blues you're in, whatever key you're in? I can think C major enclosure, and then on the 4 chord, I can think C minor, which gives me the flat 7 and the 9. And when it gets to the F sharp, diminished, all I have to do is change to the F sharp. Okay, let's do this a couple more times, and then we're going to actually go through the folder, and let me show you a couple of other things that are in this awesome folder for this week. The Labor Day PDFs. And Marla, I want you to make sure that you have access to the all access folder. Sometimes it shows me, it doesn't show me that you have access when you should have access to everything. Let me just check really quickly. I'm talking about all of the weeks. I always put these things for you guys. I just want to make sure that Marla, yeah, so this is not showing me that Marla, or maybe it is. Let's see. All right. It says you are sending an invitation to Marla since she has no Google account associated with this address. Well, I just sent you that, Marla, so you can check on that. All right, let's go back to, so there's a shuffle blues version of this as well. And this is just the simplicity of the 3 chords with our shuffle blues tracks, just 3 chords. So that will free you up there. And then let's look at our Labor Day charts, just a few of those. Now, don't get lost in the craziness of this. There are several things in this folder. I'm just going to we're not going to practice every one of these, but I want you guys to I want to show you guys what you have in this Labor Day folder. All right, Akshay Shape of the Blues is really fun, right? Because it uses the blues scale and it uses the tritone. I love Akshay's Blues. And then we have Bob's Loop of the Day. Now, we might get to this one. This is just like a little bit of... Actually, Marla would really thrive on this one. Kind of like a solo piano with a little bit of sauce there. Got to have some sauce. You have the Dean's List Blues in there. That uses the 5/6 root with the little chromatic thing. And it has the famous lick from this week right there. Right? So Marla, dig into that one right there for sure. Then we have this. We're going to spend just a little bit of time talking about the Jazz Academy Prep. I am a member practice guide. Let me check to make sure you guys are with me. We're going to go back to the Yard Work Blues, but I want to just show you what you're dealing with here. Let's see. Yeah, so check the invitation that I just sent you manually. I don't understand why you're one of the only people that you just requested access to the link. Okay, let me check again really quickly. Let me check real quick. Maybe I can sort. Maybe I can see it in here. So Marla, even though I just sent it to you again, I'm gonna do this again, and I tell you what, I'll follow up with you right after this lesson, and we'll make sure that you have access to it. I just sent it to your Yahoo, okay? Well, let's see. Now it says I can't because you don't have a Google account. No, that's just weird. All right, we're gonna figure that out. All right, so within this folder, guys, let's talk about this Jazz Academy prep. So, Rick, this idea of D minor 9, right? You have this, and remember to put your middle finger down, and to get from a minor 9 to a G13, all you do is lower your middle finger down. And then I even put here where you have the tritone, which is that half step. What a great thing to practice right there is 2, 5, 1, and that's the most common progression in jazz. And if you want something to improv, just do the again, or you could go up, or you could go up, down. So all I was doing there pretty much was arpeggiating the chords. All right, let me check on you guys. That's a fun little practice guide. And at the very end, I just said, all right, here's the first 5 notes of the C blues scale. And then even this, look at this. You have this. Building up your coordination, the first 5 notes of the C blues scale, and even this. You can do slow and straight. And then you have the number 5 example is this. And listen to watch this. All right, now let's look at this just for a second. So Rick, number 5 on here, or actually it's measure 25 right here, is this idea of this. And last night I did a bunch of training on this, the triad, and you go, but this idea of the flat 7 that we talk about all the time, and then it goes down to the 6/5. So this idea right here, you can put it in any key. B flat, F. Doesn't matter the key, you get the pattern down. And that is very relevant to what we did, what we started doing with the yard work blues. You could use that all day. You go, and then the only other fun thing that I added here is on the D minor. You can do this kind of it's kind of a generic kind of pattern to start on the root, but going up to that 3rd, we're enclosing the 3rd and coming down chromatically to get the flat 9 is such a great thing to practice. So that's important because it doesn't matter, again, the key. You're getting some really cool patterns and some nice little jazzy sounds. But don't ever shy away from generic ideas and patterns. I use them all the time, and they're great for ear training as well. Like, you can make it your own later, but it's okay. Like, they're really famous licks and ideas like, you know, so then, right, put all these different patterns. Just pick one and put it in a different key. But what am I doing here? I'm doing a 2/5 in D minor, and I come down the arpeggio, and I get to the 3rd. That's fantastic ear training kind of things. Okay, but start with this. Then you can go to any key. All right, let's go back to the simplicity of the blues. There are other things in here that I just don't want to overwhelm you guys. This idea of Noah's blues, I love this because it's the pentatonic and the blues scale. I love that because it's just pentatonic and then it's the blues scale with that F sharp. So first it's pentatonic. I might even use that in our improv in just a minute that we're going to do. The only other thing here, and this is for my go-getters, is this idea of the pen triplet blues in C, where we're going to go. It's such a fun thing to do. We're not going to spend a lot of time on that now, but I love, love, love when you introduce triplets into your playing. In fact, I used to not do that, and I want to say within the last couple of years, I was playing with a friend of mine, and I was playing bass, and he was playing keys, and like all throughout the gig, he kept doing that, and I got through the gig, and I'm like, man, I don't ever do that. I don't sit there and go. But what a cool sound! Like if I'm doing my whole C blues, and you just spend time on that. Maybe a little blues scale, and watch it works again here. Blues scale. Isn't that a fun little idea? All right, let me check on the chat. We're going back to basics. What's up, T-Man? Good to see you, Dad. Dad's showing up. Email address starting with, okay. Marla, we will make sure you are good. Yeah, you're the only one that I'm having trouble with that I know of. So we'll get you fixed up. Every time I send it out, I put a new folder in our all access group. That's the first thing I think of. I hope Marla gets this. All right, we have 13 people watching. Who is enjoying this? And I see that only 5 people have liked this video. That's pretty sad. I don't think that's accurate. I'm thinking it's more. All right, let's go back to the yard work blues. We're going to end this lesson. I'm going to go until 45 after. It's Labor Day. I'm going till 45 after. So let's go ahead and let's go over these ideas again. And I want to leave you with simplicity on this. So let me turn on the track and let's just go over the basics again. Yard work blues. So I'm focusing on this 5/6 root and then the minor third to major third. And for all my people that are just joining in now, just remember, you go down 3 half steps and you get your A blues scale, and that'll work for days. And you put that with the idea of the triad. Watch. Again. Minor third to major third all day. See how I went from major third to minor, watch. Diminished. Let's practice the A blues lick the whole way. Now let's do the A blues scale with that pen triplet idea. All right, so that's just 2 ideas. And isn't it fun just to go back? All right, hey, all right, Jeffrey. Up to 8 on your end. Very good. Marla's loving the live. Hey, everybody who's watching, no matter how many ideas it may seem I'm throwing at you, especially if you're new, a lot of this is review things we do all the time. So that's the reason I say, well, let's go to the A blues. This is from Blues Volume 1. Right? This one lick that we've worked on, you have the sheet music, you have the fingerings, you know what to do. Just like when I say whatever key you're in, you take 3 half steps down and you do your blues scale. So I actually did, make sure you guys are checking out my videos, because last night even I did all keys training. I did things like this. Marla, this is really helpful for you and everybody. It's like 4 or 8 measures of each key. But if we're in the key of C, we know our secret is we can go down 3 half steps and play a blues, an A blues scale. If I'm in D flat, I go down 3 half steps. Now I'm doing the B flat blues scale, first 4 notes, right? When I'm on D, it's the B blues scale. So what you start to associate with, watch when I get to E flat. If you go down 3 half steps from E flat, you get the key of C. Now watch this. So Marla, if you're playing an E flat blues and you asked me about that the other day, or somebody did, I thought it might have been Marla, saying, what about E flat blues? Well, 3 half steps down gives you C blues scale, first 4 notes, which we've been talking about all the time. And now that covers a C blues where you're going to use that C blues scale, but also E flat. You could play that over the entire blues. And then if you want to take it to the next level, Marla, you just do the E flat triad. And then right here is the 6, 5, or if I'm in D, if I'm in G, and I go da-da-da. And so if I said I'm in the key of G, what's 3 half steps down from G? It's E minor blues scale, first 4 notes. So there it is right there. G. Or I could go the G triad. Yeah, so that idea of what I just did there is actually from the PDF. I told you guys this idea of, right, a fun little sound to get under your fingers, and then without even thinking about it, I did that on A. Because what's going to happen is with all of this stuff, you internalize it, and then it just comes out however you want it to come out. And it's a part of your language. It's not something that I have done. It's just something that you've learned, and now you have this, just like you have the A blues lick. You internalize it, and then it's yours, okay? So that works on any key. So I would go back and try those, look at those lessons I did last night in every key, but it's simple stuff. It's taking one idea. Then you spend a little time there. So that if you're in any key, you can not only survive the blues, but thrive in the blues and playing the blues. All right, we're missing Vance this morning. He's going to be in trouble. Vance is going to be in the doghouse when he shows up. But I loved the interaction with the chat. I love the fact that all of our faithfuls are coming in, and we have a really awesome community. Very thankful for all of my members and our newest thing, our YouTube channel members. Doug's a member of our YouTube channel, and several of you are double dippers. You're an all-access member, and you're a member of the YouTube channel as well. Okay, I am going to put some PDFs in the membership area as well. So if anybody wants to join, don't join unless you really want to join. But it's like a cup of coffee on the lowest level. Okay, Marla says 2 different email addresses. That's the issue. Yep. Oh. He's here. Vance is here. All right. My apologies unless you just came in, Vance. Everybody's wondering where you are. All right, let me refresh just to see how many people have liked this video. All right, now, I didn't do any ads. I'm trying not to do ads on a lot of my videos just because I would rather have people join the membership area than have to do a bunch of ads. And my all access group, whenever we do things, I don't put ads on those videos, of course. All right, let's we're gonna go just a little bit longer. I'm having way too much fun. I'm here today. I'm creating all these PDFs, and I can't wait for you guys to go through some of these. But let's talk just a little bit more about this idea of what key of a different key. If I'm in, well, let me start with C again, because since we have the track in C. If I go C blues and I go da 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 da, I want you guys to like get that as a part of who you are right here. Yes, you can go any key. D, E flat, right, E, F. And here's a little tip about when you're in different keys. Like if I'm playing an F sharp blues, that's not that reliable of a fingering. And the reason is it's all right here and it's just really up in the keys and it's kind of like you might slip off of that. So what I like to do is practice different fingerings. On this, for F sharp, I might go 2, 4, 3, 2. I'll do both, but I practice this kind of fingering as well because if you're playing a slow blues especially and you're really digging in, you might slip off with your fifth finger there. So if you do 2, 4, see I slipped off with 2, 4, right? And then you're back at home. But you see how you get that idea? We go boo da doo dee da doo dee ba doo da ba da da boo da doo da boom. Yes, that is correct, Joseph. What's up? Everybody say hey to Joseph. All right, let's turn on the track and let me demonstrate this idea. So this is not a shift, but just an addition of a simple idea. If I'm in the key of C and I go, there's my enclosure, but watch this. When I go to the F, I have the flat 7 just by making it minor. You're welcome, Joseph. And then when I get to the diminished, I'm just going to change to the F sharp. I'm going to show you guys simple ways to start getting to where you're transposing and really owning this stuff. Watch this. Minor. And 2 and 3, a minor. Watch diminished. And 2 and 3 and 4, A blues lick. And 2 and 3. There's your A blues scale, first 4 notes. Yardwork blues. Yardwork blues. Going to do some yard work. 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 Going to do da 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 da. For Vance right here. Flat 9. All right, let's talk about this simple idea. This whole lesson, I didn't do any blues licks. Like I didn't do any blues licks that we've been working on, or Dean's List blues, but I decided to do one that I did last night where I showed you guys a reminder that if I'm in C7 and I want a really cool blues lick, I go up a whole step from the 3rd and it gets me set up perfectly for this little tritone kind of blues lick. And just by knowing this on C, I want you to see something that is really nice. Watch this. When I get to all I had to do is change it to minor. It's a C minor there, and I can play the whole lick that way. Joseph says he loves yard work. He loves yard work, but he's making sure we understand he loves the yard work blues, not yard work. Marla, don't be retracting your messages. You just got to leave it raw like it is. Yes, Vance likes that lick. It is a fun lick. All of these blues licks. If you look at my most popular licks ever at iMusicAcademy, it's this. And then if I was to do this, you can do it over, of course, F and G as well. But watch what happens if I just think minor. So I go major. Yeah, so Marla says that she spent a lot of time at DC Jazz Fest and she heard our licks a few times. Very cool. Marla, that says a lot. It says to me that you're listening and that you're really soaking up the material. That's what it tells me. I bet that you probably heard this. Like this right here, everybody get this in your playing. Minor third to major third with the sixth. And then you have to hammer on certain keys. And then when you hear this kind of sound, you got, of course, the minor third, like if you go up, what a great lick that is. Having that minor third on top, or this, you hear that an all time, and I like to extend the lick. And you can go all the way down the keyboard. And this right here. All right. So Marla, this is really interesting. So Marla says she heard Dave's leaving on a plane. Now, Dave's leaving on a plane. Dave's leaving on a plane. Pentatonic, the whole thing. Da 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 da. I tried to best to explain. Yes, I did. Dave's leaving on a plane. And the reason is that pentatonic sound, especially in blues and pop, all gospel, you name it, pentatonic is huge, right? And it's a little bit different, right? Just one note different from the blues scale there. You have the tritone in our blues scale, but our pentatonic is such a cool sound. And that's why this, Marla, this Dave's leaving on a plane, Dave's leaving on a plane. It's so much slower than, or faster than a train. They try to tell him it's the same, all pentatonic. But watch this, so is the pentatonic blues. Only the pentatonic scale. And you guys have that in your folder now. Let me just look and see if I even have the folder up right now. Yeah, so pen triplet blues right there. So this actually does, I did on purpose, I did the blues scale starting on 2. And then it does it again. Let me see how it's exactly written. Oh, and then I go down to the tritone. so I sneak it in there. And then I like that. Blues scale. All right, so do not get overwhelmed with this idea, but some of you are going to absolutely love the pentriplet blues because it's doing a mixture of the blues scale in a triplet form, and then it goes to pentatonic. So we have then it goes minor third to tritone, little shock there. And then we end with a blues scale. I can't get it up there because of the stand that's in the way. All right, let me see. Another fun thing. If you want to listen to these files, the Pin Triplet Blues, there's a WAV file and a little audio file that shows the sheet music being played. I'm going all out for you guys. You know that. All right, let's turn on, maybe tomorrow I'll do a lesson in the morning on the Bob's Loop of the Day that has these really cool, really nice little solo piano chords, but you'll see them in the folder. And let's end with me playing through these things again, and I'll put the Pin Triplet Blues in there somewhere, okay? All right. Man. Yeah, okay, so Joseph, when you say my right hand fingering, can you explain what you're talking about? Which specific idea? That might help me out. All right, let's turn on the track. Let's do a Yard Work Blues again. 1, 2. And this is exactly the way these PDFs are. I'm not adding anything to that. It's exactly written out how you want it. And then bo ba da ba doo day bo da da do ba da 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 da. Right here, yeah. All right. There's my cross under. All right, so let me stop this really quickly. So Joseph says, I'm not really crossing under, etc. So it's mostly right hand fingers. It depends what I'm doing. So right then, just a minute ago, I was doing kind of like if you play the song, well, not a song, but sometimes it all depends on where I'm going, right? So Joseph, it's a really good observation there on a couple of things. When I played the triplet blues, the Pin Triplet Blues, this is a great exercise. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's just major scale, right? If I go C7, I put the B flat, and then even that I changed up the fingering to. But you can go 1, 2, 3 if you want, up the whole thing. But it all depends on where I'm going. If I need to cross under, I definitely will cross under. Like if you do... Uh-oh. Y'all, it's time. It's time. It has happened. Everybody say hey to Tony. I'm not getting off this live till everybody says hello to Tony. Yeah, hey, Joseph. So there's some really good, like I said, observations. I want to say this. It's really important that, like, you're correct. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. All this stuff that you can do right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you're working on your blues scale, Joseph, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So you will be doing a lot of cross under right there if you're practicing that. But also, it's really important to know that I love for people to really strengthen your 4th and 5th fingers. So when you see me doing this, don't think that I want you guys to just use 1, 2, 3. Like, I want you to get your fingers strong. That's why I have these ideas of going like this. So, Joseph, you need to know that do this exercise right here, everybody. This is a quick segue to anybody who's new, just dropping in, is I do have some really amazing courses that I say amazing because I spent a lot of time, and it's my favorite course that I've ever done. It's called 50 Days to Flying Fingers, with a shout out to Tony. So let's see, just joined after purchasing the Shapes course. Let me tell you about Tony really quickly. I was doing a live the other day, and all of a sudden I got an order for the Blues Bundle. I didn't even know the Blues Bundle was still in there. And then I got an order for the 50 Days to Flying Fingers course, and then 20 Tips to 5-Minute Practice Success. And it's Tony right here. And man, I was blessed yesterday, and then some donations came in, and just very, very extremely thankful for you guys. And then I just I'm very excited that Tony has joined our membership. Thank you so much. That's awesome. And that's really cool that you got the Shapes course. I didn't even know that, Tony. So the Shapes course is perfect. And as a matter of fact, all these things that we're doing this morning right here, of like this, and that's why I have the Shapes course, because it gets you playing simple things. Like, one of the things in the Shapes course is like Oscar Peterson, this idea of like, okay, look at that. It's just F and C and the E flat. And so is this. This is in there. And I think this is probably in there. Simple ideas that fit under the hand. I know that's in there. Here's another thing. So even like my improvisation right there, notice that I could think of the whole improvisation based on the C triad. Now I'm thinking F triad. And I'm thinking just here, C triad. And if I want to get brave and bold, I do the first example of, not bold, just this. How simple. Let's do that. 2, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. I know that inside the Shapes course, there are just tons and tons of things that fit under the hand, which I think it's really interesting to point out the idea from that Anthony mentioned. Awesome, full hour today. Yeah. That's right. Okay, now hold on a second. This is what Tony said. Tony said, I was looking for where beginner can get started and saw your live video on beginning Shapes course. My wife said I could join your channel, so here I am. Hey, I like that, Tony. I would ask for permission as well. Sometimes I'll ask for permission to go live. All right. So if Joseph is still here, I said Anthony. If Joseph is still here, he picked up on this idea of, you know, what kind of fingerings we use. But notice that in a lot of your playing is that you can focus on things that fit right under the hand. That's why we start with this 5-note blues scale and even the 4-note blues scale, right? And this allows me to play in any key, and the same with you guys. Let me do something really quickly here. I know people have to drop out, but some of you guys are like enjoying this. We have people coming in, but man, Tony, I'm so glad that you came on today. That's awesome. All right, everybody say goodbye to Marla. She's going to go to a party, I'm guessing. All right, let's go ahead. I want to see if the shapes course is in here because I think it would be cool to kind of show you guys some things to practice there. Let's just look at this. Blues shapes, boom. Membership has its privileges. All right, so watch this. The way, just so everybody knows, and Tony, since you bought a ton of courses yesterday, all of these things have interactive PDFs. So you click on it, and then you have all these exercises. If I want to go to shape 1, I just click it, boom. Now, let me just, and Tony, if you ever want to see the videos of the training, all you do is click on the camera icon. Let me just show you how it works. And it'll take you right there to the training. Boom. And you're there. And then if you want to get back, you just click the back button. It'll take you there. But even this first thing, beginning blues 5-finger patterns, it shows you this. Now, you want to get familiar with different keys? That's a great pattern. First 5 notes of the blues scale. And then notice it turns it around as well. It does this. It does this. It does the Oscar Peterson thing. And we're on the first page. Okay, so it gives you all kinds of patterns to do with just this idea. And it has a solo piano version as well. Okay, that's shape 1 from the shape course. Then it has this you already know. You don't need to get any kind of course just to know this first 5 notes. As I say before, I have all kinds of patterns I've written out to be like Oscar Peterson. You want to play like Oscar Peterson, you have to do a lot of practicing. But there are some ways to do it. Now then, look at this next shape. Tony, you're going to find this one. That you have whatever key you're in. Everybody listen in. Whatever key you're in, if somebody said A blues scale or A blues, key of A blues. This pattern, I found it really quickly. One way you can find is whatever key you're in, put your middle finger on that note. Your pinky is going to naturally hover over the minor 3rd. There's your flat 7, and there's your 5th. Let me demonstrate it in the key that it's written. It's this. We're in the key of C. Here's your shape. Works over F. So when I talk about the shapes course, it's giving you shapes that you can not only survive, but thrive on the blues. The next one is this idea, which blends the A blues scale with a little bit of jazz enclosure. The whole thing. Imagine if you did that in every key. All right, the next one is this idea that we know and we love, right? Okay, what a great thing to put in all keys. This, one of my favorite things you guys know is my second inversion triad. Look at it on C, second inversion. So I go, that's 3 major triads, 3 minor triads, and then the 4 chord. Now, that may seem a little bit more advanced, but we spend a lot of time on that kind of stuff. The next thing, the triad, minor 3rd to major 3rd. Everybody look at that, screenshot it if you want to do that. But it's the idea of, and then just go around and say, all right, here's an F triad. Let me try it there. There's B flat. There's E flat. There's A flat. There's D flat. And I'm back at home. The next one is that simple Oscar Peterson lick that we just talked about. And then you have, Tony, now this one, you're going to love this one if you haven't done this already. Guys, guys, girls, whenever you play your third up to your root, and you keep coming down, that's the lick right there. Again. That's such a fun lick to go. All right, then I put the C6 lick. I knew it was in here. All right, what a fun thing to do there. And then I also put, notice that I put in here, Vance was just saying what a slick lick this is right here. Now, how did this make it into the shapes course? I'll tell you exactly why. Because if you take a simple C7 chord, and you take your index finger and go up a whole step, there it is. There's your lick. One and then it goes to a F triad and second inversion, just like that. All right, and then it does another version of that. It does the triplet thing. And this is for my beginners. You want something that just sounds good and it fits under the hand. C triad, 2 3 5, 2 3 5. And then you have this one, which I already demonstrated. Play it super slow, or you can play it double time if you want. And then we have this. This is one of my favorite little exercises from this course, because this is ear training 101. Octave, the flat 7, the 6, the flat 6, and then it gets you into the first 5 notes of the blues scale. So it doesn't matter what key I'm in. All right, let me see what else is in here. We're almost done. All right, let's wrap it up by just playing the blues a couple more times. Let me check the chat, see how you guys are doing. Let me get back to where I was. Man, what a fun lesson. All right, so that's awesome. Okay, very good. Yes, Tony, you know what to do. You're just gonna go up and down with this shape right here. And you have 50 days to flying fingers. So guys, I'm gonna leave you guys with this exercise right here. C. Remember, you hold the bottom note. C triad. All right, Rick, good to see you, bro. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, Rick, thanks for hanging out. I know it was a long, extended lesson, but what a cool day to do it and to be able to be together. I didn't know it was going to happen, that we would have this many people showing up on Labor Day, but I'm really excited, and enjoy those PDFs, and have a great day, Rick. Very thankful for you. All right, watch this. Then you hold the D, F, and G. Yep. Yep, see you tomorrow. Yeah, Tony, that's okay, but here's the thing on that. So Tony, make sure the very first example is the one I want you to do in flying fingers. Yes, you can do the second one, which is like the first 5 notes of the blues scale. Main thing is get those fingers moving, and I'll help you through that idea. But yes, shapes are good. This first shape is a great one just to wear it out. Yes, that's right, Dad. All right, I'm going to turn on the blues. Here's what we do. We always say goodbye to each other on every lesson, so make sure you guys take the next 20 seconds. For those of you that are still around from iMusicAcademy, or maybe you're just a random person that showed up to watch the stream today, very thankful for all of you as well. If anyone wants to join us, all you have to do, if you want to spend a cup of coffee a week, it's the easiest way to get on the entry level of iMusicAcademy. I am going to put a few of these PDFs inside the membership area today for YouTube. So I'm going to put the Yardbird Blues, the trio version, and the Shuffle Blues as soon as we hang up. And what I love about the membership area of this channel is we have 13 people now, because Tony just signed up. Is I really want to grow this. I want to continue to grow our All Access and our Chord Academy, but there's something really fun about those who are able to join the membership area. It's loaded with stuff. So if you just want all kinds of content, that's fine. It's all in there. But it's the community that we have here, and it's just, I have tons of lockdown videos and things like that. Just a fun way to connect with people on the inside of things. So all you have to hit is join if you can go without that cup of coffee a month. But anyway, say goodbye to each other for now, and I will put a few gifts inside the membership area, and I've been linking the videos so you guys will be able to see what PDF goes with what video. All right, happy Labor Day. Awesome. All right, Joseph, good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see y'all in the next one. Hugh, good to see you.